Well, there we go. It's the big one. We're in the knockout stages of the Champions League. Atleti hosting Barcelona. They've got a 2-goal advantage coming into this second leg after a good performance away at Barcelona. But in truth, it was the hosts a week ago who threw it away. They got a red card, Pau Subasi suspended, adding to their problems at centre-back. And it's a slightly unorthodox lineup from Barcelona today. Hansi Flick perhaps surprising a few of us with his selections. We'll get to the lineups in just a minute or so as the players begin their walk out onto the pitch ahead of a massive evening of Champions League football. And well, we know Simeone has been in these situations before. Him and Atleti have an incredible home record in the Champions League. They've not lost any of their last 19 home knockout Champions League matches. It's a fantastic record they've got, and actually as a club Atletico go all the way back to the late 1990s. That's the time they last lost a home knockout game in this competition. They've got to keep that record intact this evening. It'll be a difficult task, but this season they've had the measure of Barcelona a couple of times already, as well as that 2-0 win in the first leg. Atletico also beat Barcelona 4-0 in the Copa del Rey this season. They last beat them 3 times in a single campaign back in 1996. In a couple of minutes from kick-off, I'll take you through the 2 lineups. For Atletico Madrid, Diego Simeone has gone with a 4-4-2. A couple of centre-backs out injured with David Hansco and Jose Jimenez sidelined, so their back line is as follows, with Ruggeri on the left, Longley and Lenormand in front of Musso, the goalkeeper, and Nahuel Molina on the right. Lookman on the left-hand side of midfield, Giovanni Simeone on the right, and Llorente and Koke captain the midfield, with Alvarez and Griezmann up front. So it's a 4-4-2. Pretty basic, pretty bog standard. Doesn't look too defensive on the face of it, but I would not be surprised to see players, even Griezmann and Giovanni Simeone, Lookman, getting back to defend, because they've just got to hold on in this one. If they can get a goal, it'll make it very difficult for Barcelona, that's for sure. On their bench, Jan Oblak, Salvi Esquivel, Dani Martinez, Javier Bonar, Javier Diaz, Alex Baena, Johnny Cardoso, Nicolas Gonzalez, Obed Vargas, Rodrigo Mendoza, Thiago Almada and Alexander Soroth. Now Barcelona, in goal is Juan Garcia, right back Koundé, left back Cancelo. Then the 2 changes at centre back, Gerard Martin and Eric Garcia starting, with Araujo on the bench, Christensen injured, Subasi suspended. It's then Pedri who captains the side in midfield alongside Gavi, Lamine Yamal on the right, Fermin Lopez on the left, Dani Olmo in the attacking midfield role, supporting Ferran Torres up front. No Lewandowski, he's on the bench. Substitutes for Hansi Flick: Coquelin, Chesney, Balde, Cortez, Araujo, De Jong, Casado, Marquez, Espart, Rashford and Lewandowski, and Rooney Bargi as well. It's a very strong set of substitutes for Barcelona, but it's slightly surprising to not see Robert Lewandowski starting, especially considering the form he's in and the experience he's got at this stage of the competition. Rashford as well on the bench. Frankie de Jong, Ronald Araujo. These are big names to leave out. Some fitness issues in there, but on the whole, Hansi Flick is making some bold calls. And we are not long now until kick-off, just 1 minute or so. The players are all out on the pitch. They know this is a huge evening of football, and we're about to get underway at the Wanda Metropolitano in Madrid. The 3rd time in the last 4 games that these 2 sides come to blows. It was a 2-1 victory in La Liga for Barcelona on the 4th of April. 8th of April last week in the Champions League, 2-0 Atletico. And now tonight, Barcelona have to eat back into that 2-goal deficit if they want to get anything from the match, as we are now underway. Barcelona kicking from left to right as I see it in their home strip. Atletico also in their home strip. They're going from right to left. And here in Madrid, We could be about to witness a fantastic tie. As Lamine Yamal brings it forward towards the edge of the box already, goes for a curling shot towards the bottom left, and it's pushed wide. It's a good save. Just 33 seconds into the match, Juan Musso getting down to his right, palming the ball around the post. Lamine Yamal seems up for this one. It was a good effort. And Barcelona have got a corner already. One arm in the air, Cancelo whips it in towards the near post, headed clear by Griezmann. That would have been the ultimate start to the match for Barca. Not quite to be. So they now work it down the left hand side. It finds Ferran Torres, nice bit of skill. Dani Olmo on the left hand side, about 35 yards from the goal. Switches the play to Koundé via Gavi. Out to Lamine Yamal. And him up against Ruggeri tonight is going to be one of the key battles, and immediately they're drawing a free kick. Italian left back. A bit too hasty in the challenge. Of course, at the same time, Liverpool playing PSG. We're at the stage of the competition where every game feels like it could be a final. 8 teams left in the competition, and after tomorrow night there'll just be 4 as Atletico come through the left hand side. Simeone tries to find Lookman, balls it back to Koke on the edge of the box. Griezmann across the box to Nahuel Molina, and then it's blocked from Cancelo, and the atmosphere inside of this stadium is already absolutely amazing. Simeone for now looks cool, but you can almost guarantee that by the end of this one he will not be so calm. I'll bring you updates from the Liverpool PSG game as well. If anything happens there, it's a similar situation. Liverpool are 2 goals down to PSG. They've got to mount a pretty staggering and frankly unlikely comeback. Barcelona's comeback maybe more on the cards, more realistic, as Ferran Torres drives the ball forwards down the right hand side, and he finds Lamine Yamal, a couple of step overs out wide to the right hand side for Gavi, challenged by Ruggeri. Ruggeri hooks it down the line, it comes off Gavi and out for a throw to the home side. Good start for Barcelona. Shot from Lamine Yamal within the first minute, curling towards the bottom left corner and just pushed wide by the goalkeeper Musso, but it was a really good effort. He looks up for this one, does Lamine. Atletico ping it over to the right hand side. Griezmann's making a run forwards, as is Alvarez. Ball currently with the right back Nahuel Molina. Goes back across the central defenders. They give the ball away at the back, and it's a through ball towards Lamine Yamal, who's one-on-one with Musso, and he rolls it through his legs and in. Barcelona have got one back within 4 minutes. It's a mix-up in the defence, and he's already had a chance earlier on in the game, Lamine Yamal, but he wasn't going to miss that one. He was presented with a clear one-on-one. Musso came rushing out of goal, and Lamine just brushed it underneath his right leg. Huge mistake, and it was pretty easy for Lamine Yamal from there. Ferran Torres just had to feed the right pass through to him, and it wasn't the best of connections, in all honesty. Maybe he didn't even mean to roll it underneath the goalkeeper's legs, but he did, and the ball's in the net, and that's all that matters. It's 2-1. What a start to the match for Lamine Yamal. 6 goals in 10 Champions League games this season now, and they are right back in it. It makes things very interesting. Everything Diego Simeone would not have wanted. His coat's been thrown to the floor. He's already down to his waistcoat. He was wearing a big puffer jacket a couple of minutes ago, looking cool down there on the touchline. Looking like his team and he had a plan, and that's gone straight out the window with a shocking piece of defending from Longley. Just gives the ball away. 35 yards from goal, and it was a simple through ball from Ferran Torres. The defence was all over the place, and Lamine Yamal, the beneficiary of that. Crazy stuff early on in this Champions League quarter-final. Coming down the left-hand side again now with Ferran Torres. Barcelona looking to make another opportunity. The cross goes in, it's blocked and out for a throw. And this now has been blown wide open, this match. Could not call which way this is going to go now. So many different options from here for both managers. What are they going to do from here? Because is it worth going for it? Atletico Madrid just going to stick to the plan and sit back, or should they try and break forward and score? And that's exactly what they're trying to do right now with Molina through towards Griezmann. It's a good piece of defending from Gavi, and this game's already all over the place. Atletico have got very strong attack, and they've been scoring goals in this competition. Slightly uncharacteristically not been so good at the back. My word, this is already turning out to be a sensational match. It may not have been the prettiest goal from Lamine Yamal, but just the energy he brings, the talent he's got, and performing, scoring on the big stage like this is what makes players like him so great, and it seems like he's only getting better and better. It's Barcelona's shining star at the minute, especially with the absence of Rafinha. He has to step up. Clement Longley has made a massive mistake early in this game, really opened things up in this quarter-final. Atletico Madrid really in the driving seat just a few minutes ago, and not many people would have foreseen a defensive error to be their undoing, Atletico. But now they throw it into the centre of the box. It drops down for Llorente, plays it to Lookman on the volley. Tight angle on the left-hand side of the box, went wide of the post. And already Simeone's animated down there on the touchline. Good flick over towards Lookman from the throw-in. It's being closed down by Garcia and Yamal. Just couldn't quite get the angle on it. Atleti fans will be so upset by that. Really sloppy. Easily avoidable as well. It looked like he was going to score in the first 30 seconds. He's got the ball again. It's a lovely through ball towards Olmo. Another one-on-one for Barcelona. The goalkeeper makes a save this time and then collects the rebound. So close to making it 2-0 on the night. Great through ball from Yamal. Just flicked it in behind with his left foot. Dani Olmo was racing down, bearing down on goal. And he tried to flick it over the goalkeeper. Musso stuck out a hand. And now Barcelona are giving it away at the other end. Griezmann coming forwards. Tries to pass out towards Lookman with the outside of his left foot. And Koundé just about recovers. Slides in to push the ball away from the Atleti winger. But Lookman still got possession. Just a bit further out on the wide left-hand side. Quite wide. Trying to get the cross in now. And then a volley from the edge of the box after it was rebounded. Goes soaring over the crossbar from Koke. I think it took a deflection off Gavi. It's a crazy match already. With 10 minutes in, we've had a goal. We've had chances for both sides. Barcelona probably should have scored 2. And that was a really good counter-attack from Atleti there. Launched by Griezmann. It's a really good save from Musso, actually. I've just managed to see a replay, and Olmo got there in good time, tried to flick it over the goalkeeper, and he just flung an arm out at it. Managed to push it clear. It was a great save. Now Atleti with the corner. It's Griezmann standing over it with that left foot. It's going to be an in-swinging ball towards the 6-yard box. Headed clear by Ferran Torres, but it's not out of the penalty area yet. Eric Garcia gets it further gone. Robin Lenormand hooks it in and ends up bouncing out of play. And both sets of players can breathe for a second at least. I mean, interesting looking at the form guide, because Atleti have lost 4 of the last 5 games coming into this. Sevilla in La Liga in their last match, they lost 2-1. Obviously the win against Barcelona in midweek 6 days ago. They lost to Barcelona in La Liga before that. They lost to Real Madrid the match before that. And of course they lost to Tottenham in that second leg. Although they went through on aggregate, they did lose the game on the night. So not in great form. And in contrast, Barcelona have won 4 of their last 5. The only one not coming away with a victory was against Atleti last week. So it was difficult before this game to predict anything. I personally thought that they'd last at least more than the 5 minutes they did. As it comes down the right hand side for Jules Koundé, trying to get a cross in towards the corner flag. Lookman's there defending, gives it to Koke and back to the central defenders who hook it long down the middle of the pitch. Alvarez chasing onto the ball, it drops for Griezmann. Griezmann's got Koke on the left hand side, or he can turn and try and play an incisive ball towards Llorente, which is what he does. Llorente pokes it over Eric Garcia, who slides in to make the challenge. And he's a tiny bit late, catches him. Pedri saying he got the ball. I don't think he did. Llorente draws the free kick on the halfway line. Atleti's ball, and the atmosphere picks up again. They know they probably now have to go and get a goal, at least to make this one a little bit more secure. Chipped into the penalty area, headed away by Cancelo. Koundé then heads it out. Alvarez collects the ball down by the corner flag. Atleti move the ball back into midfield. It's hit back to the goalkeeper. Musso chips it down the right hand side. Simeone collects. Just about prevents it from being a throw. Plays the ball back down the line. And not back to the goalkeeper. Gary now can drive forwards down the left. Flicks it in field towards Alvarez. He pokes it over the top and it deflects and goes out of play. To go through ball towards Yamal from Ferran Torres, it must be said, for the goal. He, although was presented with an opportunity, had to get the pass right, and he weighted it so well that Lamine didn't even have to break stride, and he could just shoot with the first touch he had. As Lamine now comes down the right again, he's got a bit of space to run into. He's goal side of Ruggeri, gets pushed to the ground. The referee tells him to get up, much to the frustration of the Barcelona players, and Diego Simeone making his thoughts known, running out of his technical area to urge Lamine Yamal back to his feet. We played 14 minutes. Barcelona 1-0 up on the night. Lamine Yamal with the goal in the 4th minute. It's been an end-to-end breathless game so far. Olmo through towards Ferran Torres as they try and get forwards again. But the ball falls through to the goalkeeper Musso, hooks it down into midfield. No one's got any time on the ball whatsoever as Llorente picks out Griezmann over towards the left-hand side. Ruggeri's got Lookman on his left, finds him, drives towards Koundé, now approaching the penalty area. Lookman goes right, then goes left, breaks into the box, is slowed down by Gavi. Out to Llorente, now Ruggeri on the left, whips in a left-footed cross, swinging away from goal and headed clear by Eric Garcia. Now it's Koke on the halfway line for Atleti. Atleti, of course, won last week's first leg 2-0. They do not look so sturdy in this one. It's the club's 6th meeting this season with each other. 2 times in La Liga, 2 times in the Copa del Rey, and 2 times in the Champions League now. Only in 1986 have they ever met more in a single season. Played each other 8 times all those years ago. They're playing each other 6 times is probably enough to fiercen the rivalry a bit more. As Musso chips it down the left for Ruggeri and miscues it. That one goes straight out for a Barca throw on the halfway line on this near side. Koundé will go to take it. Throws in field, and Eric Garcia will bring the ball across to get things restarted. Back to the central defenders. Eric Garcia now to Koundé. Back across to Garcia. Now Pedri wide to the left. Nice bit of play from Barcelona. Pedri wide. Finds Garcia again. Now they bring it down the left hand side. Barcelona playing some good football here as Olmo brings it forwards into the Atleti half. 17 minutes played. Goal to the good of the visitors Barcelona. 2-1 to the host on aggregate. Very intriguing. Another through ball attempt from Pedri towards Ferran Torres, just about cleared by Clement Longley this time, who does not look so secure back there. He seems to be struggling a little bit. Ball over on the far side. Barcelona still in possession. Now being a bit more patient with it. They were rushing it forwards in the early minutes. Now not so much. They know they've got the time. They've got the skill, and they've proven they've got the beating of some of those Atleti defenders. Pedri down the right to Koundé. Infield towards Ferran Torres. Nice flick towards Pedri again. Cut out by Longley. Ruggeri plays it down the left, and Atleti could counter here with Lookman. It's a great pass towards Alvarez in a little pocket of space in midfield. He tries to find Griezmann, but his pass is overhit, and Cancelo intercepts, drives straight forward. There's no messing about. Olmo on the edge of the box now. Finds Lamine Yamal, chips it into the centre. Olmo goes to ground, and the ball ends up in the goalkeeper's arms. Llorente chips the ball over the top. It's deflected. Comes off Koundé. It's collected in the central midfield. Griezmann then knocks it over to the left. Olmo with a great turn. Digs it out and finds a pass to the left-hand side. Olmo rolls the ball to Pedri. Over to Garcia. Now Cancelo, wide to the left-hand side. Got a pocket of space for Pedri. Back to Dani Olmo again, 30 yards from goal, central position. Pretty crowded in there at the minute. Tries a 1-2 with Ferran Torres. And it's poked away. It looks like Atleti are now dropping back into back 5. Koke's going in there to add to the defence. It's an interesting setup now, must be said, or looks like Koke's actually still playing midfield, and Llorente's gone out to right back, Molina's come into right centre back, and they are sitting with 5 at the back. Koke and Simeone in front of them, and Alvarez, Griezmann, Lookman as a front 3, but very defensive at the minute. I think Simeone knew there was a danger of this game getting away from them early on with the way it was going, with the momentum and the speed of everything. Ball gets thrown down the left-hand side by Atleti. Deflection goes out of play. Another throw in for them. Complaints today about the length of the grass here at the Wanda Metropolitano. And it's true that over the last few legs and games they've played here, that opponents have struggled, and certainly that Tottenham match in the round of 16, there was a lot of players falling over. May have contributed to some of the early goals that Atleti managed to score. Haven't noticed anything yet though. As Griezmann walks it down the right hand side, glides in field onto his left foot and chips a delicate pass over towards Lookman. It's a wonderful first touch, couple of step overs, pings the ball across, and Griezmann almost gets there to poke it in. He wants a corner. It was a great run after the pass. I mean, he made up so much ground as Lookman showed his skills and cut the ball back across. It was brilliant from him. It should have been a corner. Griezmann did flick it towards goal. And a sliding Gerard Martin sort of stopped the ball going in the near post. Great tackle. No corner, and that is definitely the wrong decision. Brilliant move from Atleti, and that's their best chance of the game so far. Absolutely not out of this one tonight. They're fighting for it. They're not just going to settle at 1-0. They want a goal. And that was a glorious move. Barca play it down the left-hand side. Torres goes towards the byline. He's pulled down. And the referee not interested. Molina tracking Gavi all the way. Gavi going down. He wanted the penalty. It's their first defeat at the Camp Nou to Atletico since February 2006, having won 17 of 25 subsequent meetings at the Catalan headquarters. As Olmo plays it through to Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres one-on-one with Musso, and he puts it in the top corner. And they've already brought it back level. Ferran Torres in for Robert Lewandowski. Many question the decision, but there he is, firing a left-footed arrow into the top corner. It's a wonderful finish. Barcelona are 2 goals up on the night after just 24 minutes. And Ferran Torres has got a goal and assist to his name. That is stunning. Dani Olmo had the ball 25 yards out, and Ferran Torres just finds a tiny pocket of space between the two centre-halves who do not cover themselves in glory again. Olmo plays a pass into him. It's a great first touch to get away from them. And they were just so slow to react. Longley kind of pushed him away half-heartedly to try and knock him off balance, and then gave up chasing because he thought Ferran Torres was at too tight of an angle to score. And he smashed it into the far top corner with his left foot. 2 mistakes from Longley. Just didn't track him well enough, and Musso couldn't get there, and they've given it away again straight away from kick-off. It could be 3. Lamine Yamal with a great ball in. Saved by Musso. And that should have been 3. Good header towards goal, and Musso's come out to make the save. He's caught him as he's made the save. He definitely didn't mean to. I think Gavi was arriving at the back post. He's got a lot of blood coming from his nose now. They've come together in a big way. But it should have been 3 for Barcelona. Atletico Madrid looked like Tottenham looked here a couple of weeks ago. Oh, it's nasty for Gavi. It's really nasty. He should score. And the ball is a great one from Lamine Yamal outside of his left foot. He's got a free header at the back post. Musso comes out and makes a really good save, but as Gavi's falling, Musso has sort of spread his whole body to make the stop, and he's caught the studs of the goalkeeper. It was completely accidental. There was absolutely no way Musso meant to hurt him, but his studs have gone forcefully into the face of Gavi, just as a result of the way they were both moving towards each other. And Musso did what every goalkeeper in the world would have done and just spread himself as wide as possible. And there's a lot of blood coming from the face of Gavi. He seems to be okay, though. He's talking to the medics. He's sat up. He's not down. He's moving. He's okay. Let's hope it's just a fairly routine nosebleed and he'll be able to carry on. But Barcelona are flying right now. They should have scored 3. Gavi should have scored that header. Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, I've not seen them play this well for a while. They're so energetic, the pair of them. Have completely changed this game around. And that first half red card last week really hurt Barcelona, even though they were the better team on the night. At 18 shots to Atleti's 5. Far more expected goal, more possession. Atleti only had 9 touches in Barca's box and just 5 shots, as I said. But they took full advantage of Hansi Flick's high line, and notably when Pau Subasi was sent off, leading to a free kick which Julian Alvarez scored. And this week, of course, they don't have the man advantage. Gavi still down receiving treatment. Currently not able to determine whether he's able to carry on. It is a corner to Barcelona in the meantime, which Lamine Yamal has gone over to take, but they have to wait some time because Gavi's still on the pitch. The finish from Ferran Torres for the second goal is absolutely stunning. It's a great goal, a really, really good goal. And he's a bit of an unsung hero. He scored 14 goals this season. He's scored over 62 goals now since joining Barcelona 4 years ago. And for a winger, that's really good. And especially when you consider he often plays off the bench. Last season he scored 19 times, the season before 11. And as I say, 18 so far in this campaign. Really good player, and someone that maybe doesn't get all the credit he deserves. Lamine Yamal is currently sat on the ball in the corner quadrant. Gavi is now back to his feet to everyone's relief. Looks like he'll be able to carry on. They won't have to make a change just yet. Lamine Yamal now ready to take the corner. Hansi Flick loved that finish from Ferran Torres. And now Lamine Yamal ready to take the corner. It's going to be a left-footed cross into the centre of the box. Towards the front post it goes. It's flicked on and Musso saves. Rolled out to the right-hand side. And now the player's switched all the way to the left. Lamine Yamal gets back though. And he's worked hard to get there. Get a good defensive touch. It's nearly an own goal, actually, from Griezmann from that corner. Half an hour played. And we are absolutely in for a treat. It's been a fantastic game so far. Barcelona still playing that high line. So there's always a chance for Atletico Madrid to play a long ball, get in behind as they did last week. But right now, this high line and compact pitch is suffocating Atletico Madrid. It's forcing them to make all sorts of problems. It's a brilliant Barcelona performance so far, but Atletico now break through that high line. It's Llorente on the right hand side, crossed to Lookman, who tucks it in, and Atletico have scored. There's the response. The high line undone. One ball down the right-hand side to Llorente. He used his pace. Brilliant delivery, and Lookman was there with his first real chance of the game. Pokes it in with his right foot. It's a good finish, and this game takes another turn. Sensational. We could be in for one of the all-time quarter-finals here. It's a great move from Atletico. He's definitely onside. Replay showing me that Eric Garcia's extended left leg keeps him on. He's probably behind the ball anyway. It's a brilliant cross from Llorente, right on the money. So difficult to defend. Koundé knew that if he went for it, there's a chance he'd either put it in his own goal or he'd take Lookman out, so he had to kind of pull away from it and hope his goalkeeper could make the save. And Juan Garcia couldn't, and now Atletico Madrid are back in front. Overall, still losing on the night. But this is some game already. We've only played half an hour. Wow. Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. The Barcelona high line is creating such an intense match. As Lamine Yamal drives down the right hand side. Cuts in on his left, 30 yards from goal. Tries a bit of skill. Still going. The ball's eventually slammed away by Longley. Crowded out by 3 or 4 players, and the Norman made the challenge. Longley got it clear, and now Barca swinging across on the left with Fermin Lopez. And it's deflected into the goalkeeper's arms. To the right hand side it goes for Atleti. Pedri plays it back to central midfield. Eric Garcia now for the visitors. Back to the goalie. And back out into midfield. Now for Jules Koundé. Now 9 points clear of Real Madrid in La Liga with 7 rounds remaining. It's looking good for Barcelona in the league. The Champions League still the big aim that has evaded them for a while. Something that Real Madrid have found much easier. Absolute favourites now to retain the title, but risk taker Hansi Flick would love to win this competition, I'm sure. No side has conceded more Champions League goals since them, though. Since the start of last season, 43 times they've conceded. And they've not had a clean sheet for 14 consecutive games. That's gone again tonight. First Spanish team ever to go 15 without a single clean sheet. Barcelona still work the ball around in midfield. Eric Garcia now to Fermin Lopez. Ferran Torres whips the ball in, and Musso holds on to it. This is the exact scoreline that it ended here in La Liga earlier this month. Barcelona winning 2-1. Currently not enough though. 3-2 down on aggregate. So far from over though. Remember, Barcelona have got Lewandowski on the bench. They've got Rashford, Frankie de Jong, players who can all come on and change this match if they need a goal. The attack right now is not looking too bad either. Olmo, Ferran Torres and Lamine looking so good. Lamine Yamal, some wonderful skill on this right hand side, gets past Ruggeri, goes to ground, wants the free kick. Griezmann collects the ball for Atleti. He's not going to get the foul. Ball now to midfield for Griezmann. Down the left it goes for Ruggeri. Out to the right now for Atleti. Falls towards Griezmann, 20 yards from goal. To the right hand side, Llorente tries to whip the cross in and out of play for a goal kick. Now, Barcelona have won this competition 5 times, of course. 1992 was the first, and the most recent in 2015. It's been a while. The Spanish rivals Real Madrid have taken the headlines for the Champions League in recent years. Barcelona have got a lot of catching up to do. The league is not always enough for the Barcelona fans. Will undoubtedly be a welcome bonus though this season. There's only so long Barcelona can go without winning the Champions League, you'd imagine. Right now they're up against it against Atletico Madrid and trailing, playing well tonight, but it's just so risky and they are really unpredictable as a side. Liverpool against PSG, the other game going on right now, that's currently goalless at Anfield. That incredible PSG side just cut through English teams like nobody's business. Isak starting his first game since breaking his leg against Tottenham last year tonight. And bad news for Liverpool is Ekitike's gone off injured for Salah, but Atleti are breaking forwards here with Griezmann. Out to the left for Lookman. It's 4-on-4. Griezmann on the edge of the box takes the shot. Good sliding block from Garcia. And now down the right for Lamine Yamal, who's got the beating of Ruggeri. Chops inside onto his left. Slows the attack down. Lamine struts forward with it. Out to Koundé. 7 minutes to go in the half. Across to Olmo. Still working the ball around here, Barca. Over to Eric Garcia. Chance to cross it in from the left hand side now. Fermin Lopez. Chipped in towards the back post and headed away by Lenormand. Drops the edge of the box for Koundé, and Atleti hoof it away. And Garcia heads it back down for Barcelona to restart their move. Pedri, 40 yards from goal, central position. Over to the left. Finds Cancelo. Now towards Pedri. Wide to the left-hand side for Cancelo, who's down by the corner flag. Game entered a little bit of a lull now that Atleti have scored. They just want to control things for a few minutes. Only twice in 194 previous instances has a team lost the first leg of a European Cup or Champions League knockout tie at home by at least 2 goals and still progress to the next round. Such is the deficit they face and how serious it is to go and lose by 2 goals or more at home at this stage of the competition. It is a big advantage, undoubtedly, playing in front of your home fans when the pressure's really on. Left towards Fermin Lopez, out towards Dani Olmo, cuts inside into the penalty area, goes down, he wants a penalty. Barcelona players adamant that it's a foul. Olmo getting up and screaming towards the referee. They probably will check that one. I'm not convinced myself, but I'll have to see a replay as Barcelona still come forwards and Dani Olmo is still down in the box. Lamine Yamal throws it through to Ferran Torres, goes for goal and Musso saves. Lamine Yamal then gets the ball out of play off Ruggeri. The Barcelona players calling for a review, and I think the referee is just pausing the game to listen to his assistant. Ferran Torres with another big chance there to score. He's frustrated he missed. And there is a real case for the penalty actually, but Olmo goes to ground easily. Koke isn't really going for the ball and pulls his arm away at the last second. I think Olmo's anticipating contact. And it doesn't really come, despite it not being a clean tackle or anything like that. There's just not much in it. It's tough one to call. Pedri gets in possession, sweeps the ball out down the right hand side for Koundé. Now wide to Olmo. And now back out to Koundé and across to Pedri. 30 yards from goal. Pedri tries to bring the ball out to the right. It's Lamine Yamal, a couple of step overs down to the byline, swings it in. No one in there to tap it home. That's where you want Lewandowski. They've not got that out and out striker on the pitch right now. Great ball across the 6-yard box, begging out to be tapped in. No one there to do it. Everyone had made the run towards the edge of the box, hoping he'd cut it back. As Lookman draws a foul off Dani Olmo. The thing with the Olmo penalty call is, I think if that happens in midfield, the referee does just give a foul, because he gets a little nudge in the back and a little nudge from in front and goes to ground. Yes, he goes easily, but they're not really going for the ball. It's cheeky, to say the least, from the Atleti players. Barca have won just 2 of their 5 away games in this season's Champions League. That has to change tonight, and even though they're winning right now, it's not enough at the minute. Koundé down the right for Lamine. Little back heel for Jules Koundé, and that's a nice move between the two on the right. Infield towards Olmo. He finds Gavi, and they continue their move forwards. Now down the left-hand side. Cross attempted from Cancelo. Deflected now for a corner. Fermin Lopez over to take for Barca. Played 44 minutes. 2-1 at the minute to the visitors Barca, and on aggregate 3-2 to Atleti. Right in the balance. The corner goes in towards the back post by Cancelo, and it goes over everyone. It's crazy that Atletico Madrid have actually turned into such a different team this season. We all anticipate they're still going to sit back and just be a defensive side, but in reality they've scored the most home goals of any team in the Champions League this season. They've scored 20 times. Scored in 10 straight Champions League contests. And they are a much more exciting prospect right now. Simeone has rebranded the side. And you look at the players they've got. Lookman coming in, he's not the type of player that wants to be restricted to a defensive role. He's an exciting player, loves getting forward. Same goes for Alvarez and Griezmann, Simeone. These players are so good. And now it's their attacking players that carry so much of the talent in the side. Gone are the days of players like Diego Godin and The absolutely unbelievable defenders they had for a period of time. Defence is good these days, but Simeone has had to change the focus of things. There's a little bit of uproar from the Barcelona players. Referee not allowing this play quickly. And when they did eventually, Cancelo played it down the line. It flicked off Simeone and went out for what they believe should have been a corner, and it should have been a corner. It quite clearly came off Simeone. Nothing given. It's been 4 minutes added on at the end of the first half. We played the first of those 4 minutes. Most of those would have been for an injury to Fermin Lopez. Ball's back to the goalkeeper now, Musso. Hooked out down the left-hand side and headed on towards Lookman. Koundé comes across to make the block. Winner of this tie will face either Sporting or Arsenal. That game being played tomorrow evening as Atleti come forwards again. It's a great sliding tackle from Barca, and they can try and break themselves forwards. Falls to Llorente. Out to the right hand side, crossed into the centre. Griezmann flicks it on, it finds Lookman. Lookman on his right foot tries to bend it. Koundé gets a good block in there. Atleti still in the penalty area. Ball played down the left for Olmo. Forwards it goes. Breaks loose in midfield. Now Pedri can bring it up. Lamine Yamal driving towards the edge of the Atleti penalty area, slips but keeps possession. Finds Pedri. Now across for Olmo. Down the left for Fermin Lopez. Barca trying to get back on level terms before the break. 3-2 down on aggregate. Nice play on the edge of the box towards Olmo. Atleti players go to ground in their efforts to get Barcelona away from goal. They've managed to win the ball. Ruggeri stabs it forward down the left. Koundé heads it back into midfield. Griezmann picks it up. His header forwards towards Alvarez is intercepted by Eric Garcia. Finds Pedri. Clips a ball out wide left to Fermin Lopez. It's a great first touch. Bit of chest control from him. Cuts inside. Goes back to Pedri. Switched over to Koundé. Gives it to Lamine Yamal. 1 minute to go at the end of the first half. Lovely ball down the right from Lamine Yamal. Koundé whips it in, deflected into the arms of Musso. The outside of the left boot from Lamine Yamal is sensational. He can just brush the ball and caress it. Makes stunning passes. Absolutely wonderful. The creativity he possesses is out of this world. Just his third season, he's 18 years old and he's on 22 goals and 17 assists as he plays another through ball towards Ferran Torres. First touch takes him away from goal, draws the foul from Marcos Llorente. Koke smashes the ball away and it is a free kick. It will be Barcelona set piece to end the first half. I'm just saying about Lamine Yamal, these are the games now, these are the moments where he has to step up if he wants to be remembered as one of the best players in the world. And yes, he's still only 18, so he's got so much time to do it, but throughout his career he does need to have these incredible moments where he wins games by himself, and not just any games, it's the big ones that matter. It's Ferran Torres standing over the free kick here. It's about 28 yards from goal, I'd say. The wall is just a couple of yards inside the penalty area. It'll be the right foot of Ferran Torres to take this. Fairly central position. No one else standing near it. Atleti have got 4 in the wall, 1 lying down under it, and Musso gets ready to face what looks like it'll probably be a shot from Ferran Torres. steps up, does Torres, whips it towards goal. It's way over the bar. And that's half time. A very exciting half of football. Atleti will head into the break 3-2 up on aggregate, but they're 2-1 down on the night. And this is far from over. Commentary for the second half will resume in just shy of 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere. This is not done. Hello and welcome back to second half coverage of the Champions League quarter-final. Atletico Madrid are trailing by 2-1 on the night, but still leading on aggregate in what is a fantastic game of football. At least it has been so far, end to end, and this one is so tough to call. Atletico not been so solid at the back as some would have expected, but this season has shown that they're a little bit all over the place and they can score goals. That's exactly what they did to respond to Barcelona's great start, as we're underway for the second half of action. Fermin Lopez coming down the left hand side for Barca straight away, trying to get the best of Molina, but he's challenged and loses possession. Since the start of last season, half of Atletico Madrid's defeats at the Metropolitano have been against Hansi Flick's Barcelona. That's 3 of 6. They're the only visiting side to win there more than once since the start of last season. As Barca come forwards, and it's Pedri, nice piece of skill, plays a good ball out wide to Lamine Yamal, cuts inside on his left, tries to bend one towards the far top corner. It's cut out and blocked by Llorente. Griezmann hashes the clearance. It drops back to himself, fortunately. Barcelona continue in their possession, down the left this time. Pedri across to Olmo. On the right for Koundé. Across to Gavi. Now he finds Pedri. Barcelona playing the ball forwards. It's a nice move. Atleti can though get forwards on the counter-attack as they give it away and the ball gets chipped over the top. Garcia's off his line to give it back to the Barcelona defenders. Gavi drives forwards. Down the left for Cancelo. A couple of step overs, skips in field. Cancelo going further and further towards the Atletico box, gives the ball away. Koke chips it over his legs, draws the foul, knew what he was doing. No card just yet, but the first meaty challenge of the game perhaps. Barcelona's 2-0 defeat to Atletico Madrid at the count now was the 195th time in the European Cup or Champions League history that a team has lost the first leg of a knockout stage tie at home by 2+ goals. Only 2 of those 194 previous managed to progress after the same thing happened to them. Quite a staggering statistic, really. It shows how infrequent it is for a team to be so poor at home in the first leg of a knockout Champions League game. Eric Garcia doing a full front flip in the air, tries to win a header into Alvarez. Robert Lewandowski down by the corner flag warming up. As is Rashford and Frenkie de Jong. Balde and Araujo too. Those are 5 quite outrageous players to have available to you on the bench. Hopefully we'll get the game back underway. After Eric Garcia has been seen to. Ball gets rolled back to Atletico. Eric Garcia is allowed back on the pitch, and we are playing again. 50 minutes nearly. Nothing quite as exciting as the start of the first half just yet, which was end to end for the first half an hour, and even chances within 30 seconds for Lamine Yamal. See if this game lights back up. Ball switched over towards the left-hand side. Molina, not a play though. Fermin Lopez runs the ball back to the goalkeeper. Barcelona in no mood to wait around. I think they're aware now that Atletico Madrid have the lead, and they sooner rather than later are probably just going to be happy sitting there on that advantage, waiting for a counter-attack. Barcelona don't want to waste any time in the second half, whilst they still need a goal. Olmo back to the goalkeeper. Garcia. Going out to João Cancelo on the left. Infield to Gerard Martin. Carries the ball through midfield. Gives it to Pedri. Atleti, of course, can afford to lose tonight as they are and still go through, as long as they lose by just one goal. Garcia out to the right for Koundé. Finds Lamine Yamal. Back to Eric Garcia. Across to Gerard Martin. Cancelo back to Martin. Lamine Yamal on the far side. Cuts in field, goes towards the penalty area. He goes down in the box, wants a penalty. It's the second time in the game Barcelona have had a strong appeal for a penalty kick. Lamine Yamal can't believe it's not a foul. Referee tells him to get up again. Barca bring it down the left. Fermin Lopez in a crossing position. And really to cross it to that penalty area. Of any height at least, as Griezmann takes the ball off Fermin Lopez, and now Alvarez is being chased down by Koundé, but he's also bearing down on goal. Alvarez turns, plays it back to Lookman, who bends a right-footed shot towards the bottom corner, just past the left-hand post of Juan Garcia's goal. Great curling strike from Lookman. Good counter-attack from Atletico in general. Julian Alvarez showed his pace and then showed his composure to just cut it back for Lookman instead of running further down the corridor. It was deflected as well, that Lookman shot, but another one that wasn't spotted by the referee, although that one much less obvious. Olmo can now carry it forwards down the left. Gerard Martin. He walks the ball into midfield. Over to the right. Still 0-0 in the other Champions League quarter-final tonight. Garcia lines up a shot from a long way out, but dummies it and finds Lamine Yamal instead. Yamal down the left, chips it into the middle for Olmo. It's deflected and finds Koke. Down the left-hand side for Ruggeri. Atletico Madrid keep possession for now. Back to Olmo it goes in the central midfield. Slower second half than the first. Just wait for things to really develop. Lamine Yamal cuts inside, plays a pass down the line for Koundé, whipped across. Musso hits it away from goal. Can only find Cancelo, a couple of step overs towards the byline, chips it towards the back post, across to Ferran Torres, who tries to scoop it goalwards, saved by Musso, spills it in the 6-yard area. Just about scrambled clear by Atletico. That was a big chance for Barcelona there. Gerard Martin now down the left for Cancelo. Olmo flicks it towards Gavi, who shoots, deflected for Ferran Torres to score, and it's 3-3 on aggregate. 2 goals and an assist for Ferran Torres in what's turning out to be a dream night for him. Slow start to the second half, but Barcelona finally turn up the wick, they get the goal, and we're back level again. This was never going to be a boring quarter-final. It's so far from it. It's terrific. What a game to be a part of for those supporters down there, those travelling Barcelona fans. Not a very long travel as the Champions League is concerned, but it's a wonderful moment, although they are just going to be checking this for a potential offside. Gavi's shot originally, which was deflected off Clement Longley, I believe, who threw himself in front of it. As he shot, Ferran Torres may well have been in an offside position. Clement Longley does, of course, make a block. That won't count as playing the ball. And Ferran Torres then puts the ball in the top corner. And I think the goal is going to be ruled out. There's going to be more drama here. The referee is waiting to hear from his assistant. Simeone's now started to lose it. It didn't take that long. And the atmosphere inside this stadium has turned from desolation and silence to jeering. And I think the home supporters know that this one's likely to be ruled out. And indeed it is. And we're back to 2-1. Ferran Torres' goal chalked off for offside. It's the right decision. It's a cruel one for Barcelona. But it is no goal. It was a real goal line scramble, and there were so many opportunities in there for them to score. The one that goes in is the time they were offside. And the game is back underway. Ball goes down the left-hand side towards Fermin Lopez. Ricochets out of play off Clement Longley. Barcelona still got their tails up. They can't give up trying. They've got to keep pushing for more. Ball goes long down the right-hand side. Flicks around the corner. And poked back towards the goalkeeper. Barcelona play the ball out of the defence, now down the right hand side, and they've got the work to do all over again. Carrying it forwards down the right hand side, Atletico Madrid. Ball goes back to Dani Olmo as they cut it out. Now Lamine Yamal down the right hand side. One-on-one with Ruggeri. Ball going towards the centre of the goal. And he was just offside. Barca coming down the left-hand side. Koundé plays the ball across to the left-hand side. Down the left for Pedri. Driving in field and now finding the ball across. Alvarez turning, clipping it down the right for Atletico Madrid, who are trying to get forwards in the counter-attack. Back to the goalkeeper, Juan Garcia. ball out into defence. Barcelona will feel slightly hard done by. There's a few penalty decisions that haven't gone their way. But there's still so much to play for. Ball chipped towards the back post. Musso collects. Smashes it downfield, and the game's in a bit of a lull right now. We've played 60 minutes. Barcelona thought they'd pulled things level with Ferran Torres just a few minutes ago. Unfortunately for them, it didn't quite happen. But they're coming down the left again, and it's Ferran Torres being tracked by Marcos Llorente, who gets a foot in there, manages to get the ball away from him. It's pretty hectic defending. Ball out of the back though is not great, and Gavi intercepts. He plays it to Olmo, who's 30 yards from goal. His shot is deflected wide off Koke. Be a corner to Barcelona. And the ball is going to be whipped into the box here from Barcelona. Gerard Martin going forwards, as is Eric Garcia. Pedri down the right. Lamine Yamal whips it into the centre. Hooked away by Lenormand. Drops for Ferran Torres. Now Lamine Yamal goes towards the byline again and just runs out of room. Goes out of play. Just going out of play. Barcelona struggling right now to find a way towards goal. Olmo back to Koundé. Finds Pedri. Pedri goes to ground. It's a free kick inside of his own half, lost a boot in the process. Now missing their captain Rafinha right now, still unavailable. Subasi as well. They've got so many options on the bench still. Subasi actually became the first player as a teenager to be sent off twice in the Champions League. PSG game still 0-0. There's been a few injuries, that's the only real thing of note. Ekitike, Doué, Mendes and Isak also had to come off at half time. May well have been planned, but quite a few injuries. Ball played towards Ferran Torres in a central position, gets clattered into by a couple of Atleti players, but they do come away with the ball. And Torres getting brought down in midfield. Down the right hand side. Lamine Yamal trying to drive at that defence. That's the edge. Eric Garcia steps forward, plays it forward towards Olmo. Out to the right hand side. Tries to force it into the middle. Lamine Yamal gets into the box, takes on 4 or 5 players, drops for Olmo, and his shot's deflected. Lamine Yamal is taking up so many of those Atleti defenders. Absolutely crazy. So skillful. He's getting through in those tiny little gaps. There's going to be a couple of changes for Atleti now. Alex Baena, first player to come on, placing Simeone. And Lookman also being replaced. The Atletico Madrid goal scorer, currently the player taking them through into the knockout stages. Nicolas Gonzalez coming on for him. On loan from Juventus. So not really, but any defensive changes there. It's just a couple of wingers replaced by a couple of the same. Main threat still on with Julian Alvarez, 4 goals, 2 assists across his last 3 Champions League appearances before tonight. He's had a couple of moments, but not much service, and it really has been Barcelona on top in this match. Atletico Madrid are now kind of into that game management zone. They win the ball high up though, near to the penalty area. Now it is Julian Alvarez. Goes wide to Alex Baena, back to Alvarez in the box, a very tight angle, gets towards the byline and hits it across the 6-yard box. No one there to tap it in. Griezmann had made the run for the cutback, and Llorente had gone to the back post. No one on the penalty spot, which is exactly where the ball went. Great cutback from Alvarez, lovely piece of skill. And Simeone now properly animated down there, getting the fans going. Great piece of skill from Alvarez. He just waited and waited and waited to play the pass across. The defenders all committed, threw their bodies in the way. He waited for them to all go past him before playing it. No change from Hansi Flick yet. Surprising considering who he's got on the bench, as Baena lashes in an effort from distance. And it soars over the bar. There are going to be a couple of changes actually. Lewandowski and Rashford coming on. Fermin Lopez and Ferran Torres coming off. Ferran Torres smashes a water bottle down on the ground. He's very frustrated, even though the goal and assist, I think he's frustrated about the goal that got ruled out. As Llorente comes forward for Atleti, drags his shot across goal. That was an opportunity for them. Fermin Lopez, he got hurt early on in the game. It's naturally the player to come off and to be replaced by Rashford on the left wing. Ferran Torres may also just be frustrated because he's coming off and he feels like he's played a really good game. And now there's an elbow in the face of Julian Alvarez, I think, who's now down. There's a couple of players down. Alvarez down as well as Nicolas Gonzalez jumping with Gavi. It looks like Gavi's left elbow just caught him there on the side of the head, and there is some blood. The second head injury in this game that doesn't look too intentional, but tensions are heating up, that's for sure. And yeah, there's some battered and beaten bodies down there. 20 minutes to play, there will be time added on for this. It's another head injury. Fourth. Getting ready to come on now for Atletico Madrid. Simeone still animated. 70 minutes played. It's the 6th European contest between them. All in Champions League quarter-finals as well. 2013-14 season, and then in 2016 as well they met in quarter-finals. Atletico Madrid eliminated Barca in both previous ties. They won 2-1 on aggregate on those occasions. Only PSG have knocked Barca out of Europe's top competition more often. Atleti have just got 20 more minutes to hold on. Barcelona know they need to score, and they thought they had that goal earlier on in the second half. Atletico were overwhelming favourites before the start of the day. Almost 80% probability of them getting through. Now it's a bit narrower, but the time is on their side. It's getting away from Barcelona. The game's slowing down. Another meeting of Spain's big clubs in this competition. The stakes are so high though. The stress painted on the managers' faces. Simeone, as usual, you can imagine what he's like down there right now in a situation like this. Not so calm anymore. He's animated, he's getting his players up for it at least though. The game will probably be restarted shortly. Ready to get started again. Players have been receiving treatment. The headband is on. Gary, the one who's had all the treatment, is now off the side of the pitch. 3 or 4 minutes of a stoppage there. Ball's out on the far side. For a throw-in now to Atletico. 20 yards from the Barca corner flag. This is thrown into the centre of the box and it drops 6 yards out. Great save from Juan Garcia. Manages to get down low and push it clear. Llorente with a second effort and he saves it again. And he keeps Barcelona in the tie. That could be a huge moment. Garcia rolls it out down the left for Rashford. Cut out by Atletico. Koke brings it down the right. Finds Griezmann. Griezmann beats Olmo, goes to ground, draws the foul. And now this is where where Atletico Madrid really come into their own, as PSG have taken a lead away at Liverpool. So it's now 3-0 on aggregate to them. But that was a massive chance for Atletico Madrid. The ball thrown into the centre of the box, volley towards goal from no more than 6 yards out. Robin Lenormand with the volley. It was down low, saved by the right leg of Juan Garcia. Massive moment potentially. Whipped in by Griezmann though from the free kick, headed goalwards and just over the bar. Another chance for Robin Lenormand. 2 chances in the space of about a minute. So close. Out to the left-hand side now. Sorloth is going to come on for Atletico Madrid. Again, kind of delaying things a little bit. Ball back in the arms of the Atleti goalkeeper, which is where they want it to be. They're happy to run down the clock a little bit. As we get later and later into this game, this is where we've seen Atleti prevail time and time again. Crazy encounters though, every time these teams meet there's fireworks. Olmo heads it down into midfield, Atleti in possession, and maybe Barcelona have just run out of puff for now, but they've brought on Rashford, Lewandowski as well, they've still got Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo. It's a frightening front four. Can never rule them out from scoring a goal, which is why Atleti know it would be very useful to get one themselves. There's a through ball towards Sorloth, who's in one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He goes down from Eric Garcia, and he's probably going to be sent off here. It's a yellow card the referee's getting out, although the whole move is offside, which saves the referee from having to make a huge decision. Simeone can't believe it. My word. The referee is now waiting for a potential check for a red card, because if he is onside, and it looks like he is on the replay, and Eric Garcia pulls him down as he's one-on-one, this could be a big moment. Sorloth was in on goal. Are we going to see a Barcelona red card again? But once more the game is stopped. This is how Atletico like it. The game slows right down. As soon as Barcelona looked like they were turning things around in the second half, the momentum has completely switched. As there's now a potential red card check. And Eric Garcia could be walking here, and in my opinion he probably has to go. Even though this may be an accidental foul, or he's just clipped the legs of Sorloth, who's running through. They're running side by side. He has stopped a one-on-one. Sorloth, by the way, had been on the pitch for about 10 seconds. He came on for Griezmann just before he was fouled. It looks like he's onside. They're going to have to check that thoroughly and also check the foul and come to a decision. And the referee is going to put the yellow card away. He's going to have a look, I think. So from my understanding, they have confirmed him as onside, so the original offside decision does not stand, and the referee was going to book him but never actually brought the yellow card out. And now he's watching the replays to see if Eric Garcia should be shown a red. And this could be Barcelona out of the Champions League. The referee takes 3 looks, and I think he's made his mind up. He's going to go, and Eric Garcia does go. It's a red card. The centre-back been sent off in both ties for Barcelona. Maybe not the team you'd expect to receive a red card in both. Hansi Flick now is right up against it. Eric Garcia absolutely furious. He rips his shirt off, throws it to the ground as he storms off the pitch. And it's silly defending. He gives him a shove. He catches him as he's through on goal. He can only be upset with himself, really. It's a silly thing to do. And more disciplinary issues for Barcelona, and that is what's undoing them right now. The first leg, there's a very small chance they would have lost in the way they did if not for the Pau Subasi red card. And now They're right up against it. They're going to have to throw everything at Atleti to try and get 2 goals before the end of the 90, because if it goes to extra time with a man down, even more of a disadvantage. And after all of that, it's a free kick to Atleti, about 25 yards from goal. The foul was made. Alvarez standing over it. It's only a 3-man wall for Barcelona. Alvarez steps up, whips it towards the top corner. Garcia, though, gets over to save it. And now it's an absolute mess down there for Barcelona. I don't really know who's playing centre-back, because Eric Garcia was their only real centre-back today. Gerard Martin was playing there from left-back, where he normally is. They haven't brought on Ronald Araujo yet. He's still not going to come on. It's Frankie de Jong down there ready to be substituted in. Gavi comes off. Frankie de Jong comes on. Gavi, who had received a yellow card. That change has been done very quickly. De Jong straight on the ball. And it looks like Pedri is going to stay in midfield, and Frankie de Jong's going to play central defence with Gerard Martin. So neither of them are actually centre-backs. They're both playing there for the final 10 minutes. As Rashford knocks it on towards Lewandowski, he goes down and wants the free kick. The referee tells him to get up. Potentially feels a bit harsh. Long ball over the top and smashed away by Juan Garcia, the Barca goalkeeper, towards Lewandowski, but it bounces away from him. Atleti get it gone into midfield. Frankie de Jong drives the ball forwards, tries to find Lamine Yamal. Ball's taken off him. De Jong tries to win it back, and he's a bit hasty in his attempt, leaving a hole in the defence. Sorloth brings it forward, chips the ball into the centre of the box, and cleared by Cancelo. He didn't really need to make that interception. There was no one there to tap it in, but didn't want to take any chances. And he gets the ball out of play. Now 10-man Barca again. It looks unlikely they're going to be able to get through this, but they are still winning the game tonight. Easy to forget in a situation like this where they are behind. Alvarez over to take the corner. And now the ball whips in, headed away by Barcelona. We're going to have to do something monumental. Llorente challenged by Cancelo. The ball smashed out of play. Thrown in from the right hand side towards the centre of the box, headed clear and then smashed away by Lewandowski. 7 minutes to play plus what's going to be added on, and there's likely to be quite a lot of added time at the end of this. Atletico Madrid just need to hold on. They're the team in the ascendancy right now, and I think they can smell blood. They're going to go for another goal and just kill this off. Be reckless with it, but every time they get the ball they're not hanging around, they are getting it up the other end quickly. A foul on Pedri, who's getting increasingly frustrated. No card though. Barca bring it down the right. Infield for Koundé, now over to Frankie de Jong. Finds Gerard Martin, floats to Cancelo. Cancelo then clips it over to the right, controlled by Koundé, out to the edge of the box. Pedri fires it out to de Jong. Lamine Yamal then towards the byline, shimmies one way, has the ball taken off him, and then it's hit clear. All the way through to the goalkeeper. Pedri on the ball. As it goes to the right hand side. Now down the left. Atleti bringing it forwards again. Baena on the ball. Played towards the edge of the box. Sorloth, and the shot comes in on the volley from Gonzalez. Just past the post. Sorloth asking for a handball. He's not going to get it. The ball goes out of play. Sorloth asking for a handball still. Simeone as well. Referee saying play on. As it stands, PSG are very likely to go through against Liverpool, barring the most insane comeback in quarter-final history. They're 3 goals down with 5 minutes to play. So PSG will be playing either Real Madrid or Bayern Munich in the semi-final. And as it stands here, Atletico Madrid will face either Sporting or Arsenal. First leg of the semi-final in 2 weeks' time, 28th or the 29th of April, and then the second leg's on May the 5th and 6th. Ball clipped over to the left. Now Cancelo. Rashford drives towards the edge of the penalty area, gets towards the byline, sliding in as Atletico Madrid defenders to try and get the ball away from him. Cancelo goes for the cross and slips as he tries to put it in. It falls to Dani Olmo. Sorloth intercepts and knocks it down the wing, and Atleti could kill the game here. They've played the through ball. Molina's in. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Shoots. It's an easy save for Juan Garcia, though. It's a poor miss from Molina. He had a 1-on-1, the chance to kill the game. As Atleti ready one more change. It's Johnny Cardoso. So now they are starting to maybe be a bit more defensive. We'll see who he comes on for, though. Sorloth and Alvarez still both on, offering a threat. 2.5 minutes of normal time. Pedri wide to De Jong. And Pedri gets the ball back. Martin down the left for Rashford. Olmo out to the edge of the box again. Now Pedri, 35 yards from goal. He finds De Jong. Lamine Yamal is challenged. The ball ricochets out of play. Not long to go now. Does need to be something pretty spectacular from this moment on. Round of applause from Koke as he's brought off. Cardoso comes on for him, so a like-for-like change in midfield, really. And the ball into midfield for Barcelona. Ball goes into the box of Barcelona. Rashford and Araujo jumping for the header and getting in each other's way. If anything, and the ball goes out. Another chance for Barca. So close again. Barcelona to making those killer chances. They're just not coming for them today. Ball goes long downfield, it's flicked on. Pedri gets it away. Drops out to the edge of the box. Is flicked in behind. Juan Garcia collects the ball. He reckons he was just inside of his box. The Atletico player saying he was just outside of it. That's a very interesting one. Referee going to have a look at this as well. As the ball goes over the top, Juan Garcia collects the ball. It's right on the cusp of the line on the edge of his box. They have said play on. 8 minutes has been added at the end of this one. 8 minutes for Barcelona to get the goal they need. Ball whipped in from the right hand side for Barcelona. Lewandowski with a header towards goal, and that one's collected by Musso. Good header towards goal, easy save for Musso. So Atleti get it downfield. Koundé then across to Gerard Martin. Plays the ball into midfield. It's a loose one, and Atleti can break forwards now. They find Baena, crossing opportunity, pulls it back. Shot coming on from Llorente, but it manages to just about evade him. Frenkie de Jong intercepts and plays it coolly out of his 6-yard area. Lamine Yamal racing down the left-hand side for Barcelona. Can he do something now when his team absolutely need him most? The 10 men of Barcelona, as Lamine tries to play a pass forward to Araujo, who's gone up front since coming on. Rooney Bargi has also joined the action. Cancelo and Olmo, the two to have been replaced just a minute ago. Ball goes down the left now for Lamine. To the edge for Pedri. Pedri finds Frenkie de Jong, who forces a pass through. Now it's out to the far side. Whipped into the centre of the box, headed away by Atleti. The ball goes cleared on the far side. Frenkie de Jong getting it away from the danger that time, just so close to going in. So we're into the final few minutes of this. Another ball into the box, pretty hopeful from Barcelona, and it goes out of play. Tension on that Barcelona bench. Four minutes left to play. PSG have made it 2-0 away at Liverpool. Ousmane Dembele with a brace. They absolutely destroy English teams. Barcelona here just clinging on to a hope of pulling this back. They're still 2-1 up on the night, don't forget, but Atletico Madrid all importantly winning on aggregate. Rooney Bargi's now on and has joined that front four of Barcelona. Araujo's gone up front. They're playing three at the back, if that. Lamine Yamal out on the left hand side now, tries to carry the ball through midfield. It's brought down by Baena. 3.5 minutes to play. Everyone on the edge of their seats now in Barcelona camp, desperate for something to happen. Ball can go in from the far side. Works its way to De Jong. De Jong with the ball in towards the centre. Musso collects. And again collected by the goalkeeper. Back it goes to Juan Garcia. 2.5 to play. Barcelona desperate now. Absolutely desperate. Switched out to the far side. It's a great pass and a good first touch. Now driving towards the edge of the box. Shot comes in, it's deflected. It finds Rashford at the back post, who puts it back into the danger area. No one there to tap it in. That would have been the moment for Barcelona. Frankie de Jong down the left. Rashford with a chance to cross it. 2 minutes now for Atleti to hold on. They're in full defence mode. Now Pedri. To the far side. And Garcia. Pedri now plays it down the wing again. Whips in from the right hand side. Araujo with the header. What a chance. That was probably the chance. A great cross into the box. Araujo found some room somehow. Free header from 6 yards out. It's just a tiny bit too high for him, but he should score. Hansi Flick devastated. All the players, all the substitutes out there in the technical area dropped to the floor, as did Araujo. That was the moment he had to score. He had to score. So Atleti now hits it long. Sorloth collects. He tries to kick the ball away. Frankie de Jong gets it back quickly. Less than a minute to play. Now or never for Barcelona. They need a moment of magic. Unibargi down the line. Koundé tries to get the cross in. It's another great challenge by Alex Baena, who gets the crowd, G's them up. 30 seconds left to play. There's 2 balls on the pitch. Barcelona have the ball out on the left hand side. Rashford, couple of step overs. Only play it backwards though. We're going to have to put the ball into the box. 20 seconds to play. Down the right it goes. Koundé drives into the box. Cross is deflected. Araujo with a header back into the danger area. Goalkeeper drops it, and it's then booted away by Atleti. Out for a throw. Barca have got the ball one last time. They've taken the throw in quickly. Simeone waving his arms. He wants full time, and the referee blows for full time. Atletico Madrid defeat Barcelona again. It was close. They've lost on the night, but it turns out the first leg lead was enough, and those 2 red cards for Barcelona have absolutely killed them over these 2 legs. Ill discipline from Barcelona. Atletico Madrid with Simeone desperate, so desperate to win this competition after coming close year after year. They've knocked out Barcelona and they're a step closer. They're into the semi-final. They'll face either Arsenal or Sporting for a place in the Puskas Arena for the Champions League final over 2 legs. They're through. Barcelona are out. After another great tie, it was a very entertaining first half. The second half was more typical of a Simeone Atletico Madrid, but they are through. They've done it. It's full time here at the Metropolitano. Atletico Madrid 1, Barcelona 2 on the night, but on aggregate 3-2 to the host Atletico. They go through to the final 4.